disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partners, Joe Harley and Angel Diaz. What's happening, fellas?
What's up?
What's up, bro?
If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Network. On Mondays, you got Raw with Mimi and Lump. Tuesdays is CTE with Chris, Los, and Travis. Wednesdays is us, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Mike, Joe, and Angel. And on Thursdays, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, you can check us out on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Martial Arts Network on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Fellas, it's showtime. What's happening?
Not much, man. Just working.
Yeah.
7 days.
Oh, man. 7 days.
I can do up to 12 hours if I want, but most I do is 10.
Okay.
I don't need a 12-hour day. That's too long.
So are you still starting at like 6 a.m?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then
So if I stay, it's about till 4:30.
okay.
So it's a long day, but it's easy money for the most part. So I'll
So
do
you
it for
don't-
now
so-
because
so-
they don't offer it. They won't offer it after we stop being busy. So
Oh, the holiday. So you got to just take it while you can get it, huh?
pretty much.
Okay. At least you're not about to go postal. You're not going postal, so you're good.
I got no reason for that, man. Nobody bugged me like that. Other than that, man, just running around with the kids. My son, he had a messed up tooth, so we took care of that. He missed a couple of days of school. The other two, they had like Christmas stuff at school. Actually, he did too. And then my daughter, she went to she's a part of all kinds of stuff other than acting. She does the German club. She has an anime club, so she stays around and gets picked up from school or from someone's house who's hosting these events. So just a little bit of running around here and there. Other than that, man, just chilling.
Okay. Angel, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, bro? I'm doing good, man. Just tired. We're getting busy time at work. And then I just did the show yesterday with Alex and my brother. So just been busy, man. Busy.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Your brother always got to come in and always got to start some shit. He always got to it. I've realized now why I was even brought onto the team, because I'm just a comedy piece for anything that's being thrown in there. That's just what I am. I mean,
Are you talking about for Inside Scoop?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, no. I'm the comedy piece for anything. That's what when I say something, that's when all the sound bites come out. For a second, it was Joe. And then he got good with management, and then it just started becoming like it seemed like for like 3-4 weeks in a row. It was like the man put out across. You know how many people? Let me tell you how serious it is. I have people that I train with in North Carolina that they said, "You got anally probed by an alien." Like, what the hell? Like, what the hell?
No, wait, hold on. So this is news to me. Was it a female or male alien, Angel?
What the fuck? Yeah. Oh my god. This is what I'm talking about. Like,
wait, hold on. Where did this come from? Like, how did this happen?
Because we did the bonus episode, right? And I told them about my experience driving. That Sunday, we did the bonus episode. I just got back from a tournament, like a NASCA tournament that night. So everybody was asking me, how was it? Because I have like the freshest review while I was there. That's talking about this like crazy story that happened at 3 a.m. on the way home. And then next thing I know, these dudes put out the show, and all I see is Angel gets anally probed by an alien. And I'm like, well, now I gotta explain this to everybody about how my butt is still intact and nothing's going in it. Like, this is crazy. Like, y'all just crazy. So
It's not how I expected us to start off tonight.
So, like,
Listen, man, the bonus episodes get wild, okay?
But this is
you
exactly
just don't know where they're gonna go.
This is exactly where Travis wants me, though. He wants me to talk about this stuff in the beginning of a show. He's smart. He knows that if someone asks, then I have to explain it all over again. And now it's just another story of me talking about how I did not get anally probed. It's just
you're gonna get famous from it. Don't worry about it. You're gonna be the most popular person that's in the main game. Don't worry about it.
Bro, I want to go up to a tournament and people ask me how my butt is. I'm not gonna do that. What's wrong with you, bro?
Don't worry. I will never ask you that, Angel. So you don't have to worry about that.
But I'm just saying though, like, just think about it. Like, my role on the team is like, I am here for comedic relief. Like, I go on yesterday. Travis waited till I was like getting deep into it, and then just completely destroyed everything I said. And he created arguments between me and Alex. Then me and my brother started arguing. I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore, man. Like,
at least Travis waited till you got deep into it and not the alien getting deep into it. But my weekend was
okay. I'm so glad I'm only here.
You know what, Angel? It's okay, because your mom's gonna make you quit this show soon anyway.
I'm so glad. I am so glad that I am only here for 45 minutes today.
Oh man, you're the little brother, man. You're the little brother. So until somebody else comes in that's younger than you, I guess you got to deal with it, man.
Bro, I'm about to tell Travis. I think we should have a juniors episode and just let them do some things. God.
One day we should. I know me and Travis talked about this before, but we should do like some type of mashup for all the shows, and different people do each other's shows. I think I could only do Inside Scoop. I don't think I could do CTE.
You can do Inside Scoop. I mean, you could do CTE, because remember, CTE, when they talk about it, you could do it after a UFC event. You like UFC?
Yeah, not so much right now. Like, I liked it when they had stars. I liked it when they had stars.
They have stars now.
Yeah,
I don't have stars.
I think that the UFC now. I don't think the people who are quote unquote stars. I don't know if
they're not. They don't have as much of an impact as the previous stars.
Right.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. But a lot of that also comes into because of. I mean, I'd say this is a good thing. Like, we're getting more fights that are evenly matched. So there's more. People are not holding the title as long as they were in the past.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I think that also becomes...
honestly, I don't think fighters really. I mean, I don't think those fighters really held the belts that long. I think that the UFC did not have as many cards per year. They only had like 4 cards a year originally. Well, in the early 2000s, they weren't.
2000s, but
they weren't doing it every weekend.
By the time I was watching it, they had UFC fight nights at the Palms, right? At the Palm hotels.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah. But Chuck Liddell's his title defenses. I think he only had 5.
This is the thing, though. This is the thing, though. He only had 5, but they were so iconic.
No, not all of them.
Because of the type of fighter he is. The type of fighter he is. Yes, they were. We're getting this is a long ass movie.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a part 2 because we're already getting way off this.
He had 2 fights with Randy Couture, right? So that was cool.
Yep.
He had
Tito.
1 or 2 fights with Tito as champion. I think 2. And I think he had Babalu. I think he might have had Babalu, but I think he had Jeremy Horn in there also. Like, and then it was Rampage. Vanderlei was in Pride. When Vanderlei fought, that was in Pride.
He fought Rampage for the title. That's how he lost.
That was the end of it. I named Rampage, but he also fought Rampage also in Pride also.
He fought Rampage in Pride or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he fought him in
Pride.
He
lost to him in Pride.
No, he beat Rampage in Pride. That's why Rampage.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. I believe so. I think that's why Rampage wanted to get his hands on him.
No. I promise you he didn't. He beat Alistair Overeem in Pride, lost to Rampage in the second round because he never fought Vanderlei. Rampage fought Vanderlei and got knocked out with the knee.
Okay. Yeah, well, I know they fought. Okay.
No, but I remember.
I believe
look
it.
Up.
Okay, so you say so. I am going to look it up. but
let's save it for later. How was your week?
another weekend on the couch doing absolutely nothing, and I enjoyed it.
Oh wow!
God bless you.
Yeah, Saturday all I did was watch movies. Watch movies. That was it. There's no football now, so watch movies and TV shows. And then Sunday I watched football all day. And that was pretty much it, man. I didn't do anything else. Melissa and Champ, they're both still getting over their illness. Melissa's not. She doesn't have COVID anymore, but she still has the side effects.
Yeah,
so she's dealing with that, and it's some weird side effects too. Like she's having these cramps in her legs, and it starts at her toes, and then it works its way up her leg. And she Googled it and looked it up, and it's a thing. I think she said it's called COVID toes or something like that. And that's just weird, man. That's just weird.
I agree.
Her taste and smell is in and out, so it's not all the way back yet. So she's not doing much of anything right now. She still, has these little headaches or whatever. So she's still recuperating. And Champ, he still is getting over his RSV and the flu. So I got to stay home and just be on the couch watching TV. Started watching my holiday movies. I like watching holiday movies, this time of the year.
What's your favorite?
Out of all of them is It's a Wonderful Life. And I watched that right before Christmas.
What's
Christmas
your favorite,
Day.
Joe?
Christmas Story. You'll shoot your eye out.
I like that. I like that too.
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Everyone gives me like so much shit for every time I say what my favorite Christmas movie is. I don't care.
Christmas Karate Story.
My favorite Christmas movie will forever be. No, get that out of here. My favorite Christmas movie is Friday After Next. That was my favorite Christmas movie.
Oh my god! Yeah, it's
a Christmas movie.
Yeah, you can call it a Christmas movie.
Look,
it is.
I still think it is. I mean, I laugh at that movie. That is one of the funniest movies. If you watch that movie in like June, it's weird. It's like, okay. You watch it during Christmas time, it gets you in the mood.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. That movie, normally, okay. So when I watch these Christmas movies, I don't watch them like you said. I don't watch them in June or July. I want to get into the spirit of Christmas. So when I watch a Christmas movie, I want to feel Christmassy. That movie is not making me feel Christmassy. Yeah, Christmas is going on. It's the Christmas time of the year, but I don't. I'm not really getting into the spirit of Christmas, like I would if I watch Rudolph or Frosty or, Fred Claus or Elf or, some of those other ones, Yep. I'm just like, it is what it is. Let me ask you this, Joe, are you in the camp that Die Hard is a Christmas movie? Are you one of those people?
Yes, it is.
Just to mess with people. It is.
Okay. So that means Lethal Weapon. Lethal Weapon is also a Christmas movie.
Sure. Why not?
Yes, it is.
Okay. See, I'm not going to watch those movies during this holiday season. They are not going to make me feel Christmas. That's like the opposite of Christmassy. Jesus wasn't laying people down. That wasn't happening. And if he did, he got them back up. He had those issues. He could do things like that. Don't shake your head at me. I didn't say nothing wrong. Come on.
Not yet.
I didn't say nothing wrong yet. Come on.
Why can't we just have a talk without bringing in my good savior into this talk? Or why can't we just have a talk without leaving the man downstairs? Like we always, somehow lately, ever since the whole devil talk, it's just Jesus and everyone has been coming into these talks. It's been a little crazy.
I believe that is the first time he has made an appearance on Fist Kicks and Flicks. And it's his birthday season, so we can bring him up.
Oh my god! Hey, just real quick, I looked it up.
Tell people that all the time.
Chuck Liddell was 5-2 in title fights. He lost his first fight to Randy. His last fight was to Quinton. He fought Randy Couture, beat him. Jeremy Horn beat him. Randy Couture again beat him. Renato Sobral beat him. Beat Tito, and then lost to Quinton. And then he did fight. His first fight was against Alistair Overeem in Pride and won. And then his next fight was against Quinton and lost.
Okay. So Rampage just wanted to beat him up again when he came over to the UFC.
Well, I think he beat him in Pride, but I think people didn't, because at that time when he fought Quinton, he was like on his high. Like he was like he wasn't losing no fights. That's when Chuck was in his prime. So I think he wanted to beat him in his prime now. But yeah.
So yeah, I don't really get into the UFC as much now, man, because I don't know. I saw it was a big controversy too the other day, with Paddy the Fatty, him winning.
Oh yeah.
I didn't watch the fight, but from what everyone says, his opponent should have won. Did you watch that fight, Joe?
No, I didn't watch it, but I like that name.
Yeah, that guy. Do you remember? Have you seen him before? The guy I'm talking about, Patty.
No, I'm gonna look him up though.
No, he looks exactly. Do you remember Mad TV? He looks like Stewart from Mad TV. I'm not joking. I'm being 100% serious. He looks exactly like him.
Oh Lord.
I think he's doing that. I think he's doing that on purpose because he wears his hair like him and everything. I'm like,
probably.
It's just weird, man. It's just weird to me now. So.
Crazy.
All right, The Last Samurai. I did what you guys said. I had to watch this movie twice. The first time I wasn't happy when I watched it.
Really?
No, I wasn't. But I probably had too much in my system to enjoy it. So I had to watch it the second time, and I had to have my closed captioning on. And I'm going to tell myself to always do that when we review these movies because I understand the movie a little bit better when I'm reading it and also watching and listening to it.
Yeah.
So the second time I watched it, it wasn't bad. Melissa watched it with me. Yeah, so we'll get into it. I know Angel got to leave early, so I wanted to jump right into the movie pretty soon. So I know.
My bad. Sorry.
I know he likes this movie a lot.
It's all good.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. It was long.
Oh, but
I still say it was just a goddamn good movie. God, such a good movie.
I had a couple issues with it, but
I mean, I'm sure you would. I mean, listen. Anytime I like a movie, I don't expect you to like shit.
Oh, come on now, man. We've liked some of the same things, man. But actually, the last few movies we've done, I think we have actually.
Have you ever noticed that we liked it when it's underneath an A-, and if it's anything A- or higher, we are not on the same page?
Probably so. Probably so.
It's all good.
Okay, Joe, let's get into it, man.
Yeah. Hold up. So we start off the movie, and we're just kind of. It's another ruled Japan. During the 1800s, we see a gentleman. We know his name because we watched the movie, but right now we don't know his name. And he's kind of seems to be like having a vision or something like that. He sees a tiger on a flag. He sees some warriors around him, and he's just like meditating in a field. And then they go to a gentleman played by Tom Cruise, who's at the back of a stage. I guess waiting to be presented at some kind of ceremony. Either I think it's trying to sell guns or recruit people or both.
Yeah,
but
both.
He looks drunk. He's very disheveled. He's wearing his like a military uniform, but he's drinking. He's disheveled. He's not happy. He looks pretty miserable.
No,
and
did they ever really explain that?
As far as what?
Why he was like that at the beginning of the movie.
Okay, so they never fully explained it, but they gave you bits and pieces.
Okay,
and
so I got it, man.
Yeah, so since I've seen this so many times, I do have an idea of why he is this way. Mm-hmm. And the basic idea is the job he's given to do. He's not happy. He had to live among the Native Americans. Mm-hmm. Now I don't know if he was a captive of them and living among them, or chose to live among them to learn their ways, so he could figure out the best way to get rid of them. Mm. They don't really explain why he was living there, but they do talk about he lived there. He learned about their culture. He spent time with them, and he even learned the language. He journaled about it. His name is Captain Nathan Neville. Algren.
Algren.
Algren. Yeah, Algren. Yeah, Algren.
Right? Yeah.
So he's a captain in the military of the 1800s, and they are just getting into rifles that can shoot more than one bullet. I think they can shoot 6, and it's what was the rifle? It's a popular rifle. Is it a Weatherby?
I have no idea.
I was just gonna say Smith and Wesson.
No, I think they said. I heard them say Weatherby.
Okay.
Anyhow, so it's a 6 shots before you have to reload, and it's I believe it's a bolt action. So you have
Can I just tell you when I saw like amazed they were, I was like, man, if they think that's crazy, wait till they see what we got now. We got red dot sights, we got ACOGs. Yeah. Oh man.
Well, even at the end of the movie, they got into some more upgraded weaponry.
Yeah.
So
that was ridiculous.
He doesn't want to go on stage, and he basically gets fired from this cart and pony show that he pulls with this gentleman selling the guns. He comes out, he talks about the war, he talks about killing the enemy, and then to add a flair of the dramatic, he actually shoots the gun up in the at some random stuff in this building.
I got a question for you guys.
Yes.
So basically, it seems like this guy has some type of trauma, right? Now we know he's telling a story about what happened to him when he was with these Native Americans, right?
So he got orders to kill the whole village,
right,
where he lived, and that's where he has a problem because he did not want to follow the orders, and the gentleman who actually hires him for his next job, I think he's a general, followed the orders and is okay with it.
Okay, so he was telling a story that a Native American had him by the hair and was getting ready to scalp him.
Now, I don't know if that was necessarily his experience he was talking about.
That's what I want. That's what I wanted to know. That's what I was confused. Like, was that a made up story that they used to make a legend, make him out into a legend, or was that something? And he was feeling guilty about that because that's not what really happened. Or I got lost.
Later, so the photographer asks him a question about being scalped, and he explains to him because he's like, imagine A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And so he's explaining to him in full detail what it's like. I don't necessarily know that he was almost on the other end. He probably seen it happen, maybe. And so, to maybe a comrade or something like that.
Yeah, so when they showed because I know later on in the movie, they show a flashback of what actually happened, what you spoke of. And they didn't show that part of him almost getting scalped. So I was wondering, like, wait a minute, did they make that part up or, what happened? So, all right, I got it.
Yeah, so the next part we go into, it's him at a dinner table with some colleagues of his, the people that he was selling the rifles with. I believe it's a general. I don't remember his name, but I can look it up later. But anyhow, they're all sitting at a table with a few Japanese businessmen, more or less, or I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for. Diplomats. These are Japanese diplomats, and they're trying to come up with an agreement to bring these two war heroes, per se, over to train their men to take on to work for the Japanese army.
So
for the emperor.
This is where this starts getting confusing to me.
Okay,
at the very, very beginning.
Okay, go ahead.
So, it seemed like I didn't understand why there was a war between these two factions, because it seemed like they all knew each other and they all were cool with each other. It seemed like both sides were working for the emperor, and it seemed like the emperor was okay with them fighting. But why are they fighting?
No, the emperor is not okay with them fighting. The emperor is upset about it. But the problem,
he never does anything.
I know. Well, until the end.
Yeah, that's why I thought like he was okay with it.
No, so the biggest problem is, and there is a portion where the quote unquote big bad guy, the head of the samurai, Katsumui, Katsumura is the emperor's former teacher. Okay. And the reason he's not fighting against the emperor has these people such as this gentleman at this table who want to bring over all the Western weapons and all the Western ways and basically step on the old ways of the samurai, the old ways of rule Japan. And the emperor is so young and afraid he doesn't want to make a wrong move, so he's taking advice from all these quote unquote advisors. The problem is Katsumura used to be an advisor of his, and he's not agreeing with the decisions that are being made by the rest of the advisors. And the decisions are being made not in the best interest of Japan, but in the best interest of lining the pockets of all these other diplomats. But the problem is they're masking it with saying, this is what's better for Japan. This is what you should be doing. And the emperor is too young and naive to understand that that's what they're doing. And that's where Katsumura has a problem, because he wants to run things the way they've always been run. And he doesn't necessarily want these gentlemen to ruin their way of life.
So who do you guys agree with?
I'm all about, becoming more civilized, becoming more with the times, but not to line some gentleman's pocket who is trying to tell me, hey, we need all this stuff because it's better for us. No, it's better for him. It's better for his bottom line. And that's the thing. He's lying to the emperor and to get his way. And then when he's fighting this group of samurai who are only standing up to him, because Katsumura does say several times, if the emperor wants me dead, he only has to ask.
Right. What about you, Angel? What do you think? Who was right?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, this is just maybe it's just like I don't know. Like, I just see it as, like, in my point of view, like, they weren't bothering nobody. Like, they were just living themselves. They were living themselves in their old Western, like, their old times, you know? Why we gotta go and bother them? Like, you know what I mean? It's like if we find out that there's, like, indigenous people somewhere and everybody wants to go and cut down their trees and make them civilized. Did they ask for that?
No.
No. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't ask for that. Like, neither did they in the like, they're living their lives perfectly fine. I get it. We want to unify people. But kind of like what, like, Joe said, like, I'm all for unifying as long as no one's pockets are getting richer off of that. You know what I mean?
But that's going to have to happen regardless, because nobody's just going to give a bunch of updated weapons for free.
I understand, but then they didn't want it. They were doing just fine. No one was bothering them. Well, they were leaving there.
I'm I'm sympathetic with the samurai, but I also I understand the other side though, because I don't know if the story is true or not, or if they took pieces from some true event or not. But if this was true, we have the advantage of being able to look back and through to the past, and like the world has changed. And if they think they will be able to fight world wars or whatever that was coming with just swords, Japan would have been wiped out and taken over by somebody else. So it's kind of good that they would have had to have gotten these updated weapons.
I get it. I'm not saying that, you know, it was the best for them. Like, you know, they were going to, like, survive and all that. I'm just saying, like, ain't nobody was bothering them.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it. I don't see why they had to fight to death like that, like all of them. Like, listen,
if I'm over here painting my house with a paintbrush, and you come over with a spray, like with a paint sprayer, right? if I'm not bothering you and I'm not complaining, just let me paint my house with a paintbrush.
And I'm one of those people that would definitely leave you alone. Like, all right,
you know what I mean?
I'm gonna let him be Danielson, and I'm about to let him paint. I'm about to let him paint the house for Mr. Miyagi. Fine.
Yeah. You don't know what kind of happiness it brings me, but like you don't gotta come in because then that's where the issue starts. You say, well, you could use this, and I'm like, well, I like using this, and then we start arguing over nothing.
But those samurai didn't have to be part of the army, though, right, Joe? If they didn't want to use those up...
No, they did. I thought.
No. So the samurai were the original guard. Mm-hmm. Their thing is that this guy's lining his pockets and taking away from the people of Japan. Because at the end, I don't know if you caught it, but the emperor, when he finally stands up to this advisor in quotation marks, he says, you've made a very good life for yourself. Careful the way you talk to me. Careful where what you say next, because I will take your fortune away from you and give it back to the people. So, to me, that's saying that we need to relook at things. Yeah, Omura. we need to re-look at what we're doing and figure out what's better for the country as a whole, not just for us people in power, everyone on this hierarchy. We got to get, we got to spread the wealth. We got to take care of everybody, not just, a certain amount of people. That's what they're saying. They want to be more in charge of their own destiny and not so much being controlled. And this guy wants to be more of an emperor, but he can't. So he's trying to control the emperor like a puppet to get things his way.
Okay. I will say this. Oh, my bad. Hold on real quick. I will say this.
No, you're good.
Imagine how they must have felt, right? Knowing that they understood living their lives as killing people by the samurai way, right? Stabbing them, cutting them. And then all of a sudden you just see that there's this long range weapon that can shoot you from 100 feet, 200 feet away and can kill you instantly. Imagine like how scary that's got to be going into that fight. Like that's got to be like scary because like your whole way of living and like how you understood combat and warfare is like completely like gone. Like you don't. That's just got to be crazy.
So all these gentlemen that have been hired for this task, they get on a boat and they meet some more people who are being hired from the West, and one happens to be a photographer, and the photographer is also a linguistics. So he speaks the language. So he can interpret and he knows their customs. And he's very intrigued by it. And he is explaining on their way to go see the emperor. The emperor doesn't normally see commoners. Like that's kind of below him. So the fact that he's wants to see them is supposed to be a high honor. And he's also explaining the rules. Like if the emperor bows to you, you have to bow lower. It's all about respect and honor for this, basically king of this area. And when they first show the emperor for the first time, I mean, he looks like a 17-year-old kid.
I thought it was a doll at first. I thought it was like a puppet. I thought it was. I didn't know it was real because he was in a shadow. So you really didn't see him, and you just heard a weird voice.
So
we getting canceled now.
No, man.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that's shocking. Okay, when you're expecting this grand king, this emperor, you're probably expecting someone a little bit older, a little bit more dignified. To see a kid come out, you're like,
not true.
Oh,
King Tut was 12 when he started ruling.
I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying from an American standpoint, because we don't have kings and queens. When we
see them, they're old, they're grown.
Yeah, you can't be president at 12. So you know what I'm saying? Like it's foreign to us. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, we won't go there. Anyhow,
I kept my thoughts to myself.
Anyhow, so he goes out to meet the army, and the army is literally full of just the common average Joe. He's just pulled off people off the streets. So these people have never seen war. These people have never held a gun.
See, once again, like this is what I was confused with because so when what's Tom Cruise's character? Algren. All right.
Yeah.
So when Algren originally goes to train these Japanese soldiers, like you said, Joe, there's nothing but a bunch of commoners, regular folks. Yeah. At the end of the movie, there were thousands of people. Where the hell they come from?
They got smarter and spent some money.
In that short amount of time, all those guys got trained and ready.
I think they got better weaponry is what they did.
Yeah. All right, continue, man.
Yeah, so he's training these people and he's really noticing well, you know what? First off, before that, this is the conversation you were talking about. The photographer is talking about scalping. He's talking about Nathan Aldrin's time with the Native Americans, and he wants to know about scalping. Why you want to know about scalping? Why that interests you? I really don't know. It's a pretty simple concept.
Right.
But when you ask somebody who's seen it in action, I mean, you're going to get exactly what you got. Mm-hmm. You know, you got this disgruntled gentleman, and he tells them straight out. They take a dull knife, they grab you by the hair, and they run that knife. You know, someone who hates you, he uses that terminology.
Yeah.
Someone who hates you and runs that knife across your skull and rips off that part of your skin. This gentleman looks at, and he loved this story. That's the part that got me. He actually liked this story. This man is a little messed up in the head.
Yeah.
Like, I get you are into other people's culture, but that is scary.
Mm-hmm.
That is scary. I don't care what you say. Okay. I don't want to be thinking about getting sculpted. I don't want to see somebody get sculpted. No, thank you.
Hopefully not in this day and age.
I know, right? So during that
You're
time,
in the wrong part of time if you seeing that, Joe.
Yeah, I know, right? During that time that he's telling the story, he's also thinking back to his time in the war. He's thinking to his time of some of the terrible things he had to do. And I mean, they're literally showing him and his regiment, they're killing men, women, children, a whole village. And it's terrible. And I believe it's a village that he was living at, that he was some of these people that he knew. And he had to take orders that they probably would have killed him too. You know, I think if you don't follow orders, like you basically, they might put you into a.
I might have missed it when they showed the flashback. I didn't see him shooting any of them. I saw the other soldiers shooting them, and it looked like he was just looking at them and confused and didn't know what to do. And as people were falling, as they were falling over. I
think he felt like he should have done something to stop it, but how do you stop that?
You definitely would have been one of them.
So this next scene, we're watching these commoners, these just average Joes off the street shooting these guns, and they're barely hitting the target, but they're not hitting where they want to hit in the target. It's everywhere. It's all over the target. And the general, the Japanese colonel, he comes through and he says that the samurai are attacking his railroad, and they need that railroad for God knows what, but it's very important, and we need to take our regiment out now and go attack. And Nathan tells him, we're not ready. And he shows them we're not ready. He stands in front of the target with a gun at one of the gentlemen shooting, and he tells them to tell him, shoot me or I'm going to shoot you. And he's shooting his gun, not to hit him yet, but he's pointing it at him and shooting it. And this gentleman misses him by a mile. And you're going to take these people into a war. I don't care if you have more men than them or not. These are seasoned samurai. You will all die. But they take them anyway.
And that's exactly what happened.
I mean, more or less. So they go into war. They tell Nathan to go to the back and basically play general, play captain. But he's kind of like, why? Like, I should be up front. These are my men. I trained them. He's very prideful. So he doesn't listen. And when the samurai come, man, like this is the first time we're going to see the samurai. You hear like a horn in the background, and then you just hear horses.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, there's like smoke. It's dark, and all of a sudden you just see shadows out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Here. That would scare the crap out of me, especially if I don't even know how to shoot this damn gun.
Mm-hmm. And they look scared too.
They should be.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't care if they're getting paid big money or whatever for this. Like, I don't know how to shoot this damn thing. Barely know how to load it. So basically, the samurai, more or less, like take out this whole regiment. They have to retreat. Nathan ends up taking out quite a few, and kind of is surrounded. And he's on the ground, and the samurai looks to finish him off, and he grabs a spear from the ground and just stabs him right in the neck. And this is the first time. Well, I guess this is the second time, but now we know who he is. This is Katsumura, the leader, is watching all this, and he kind of seems intrigued by Nathan. He seems like he sees this warrior, and he sees the flag he's holding that he was seeing in the beginning at his vision. So I don't know if he's thinking like this is fate, this is destiny. I don't know what he's thinking, but when he kills this one of his warriors, instead of having his people kill this man, he takes him captive.
I thought he was
weird.
I thought he was looking at him like, oh, this is part of a prophecy. That's what I thought. And
yeah, I got you.
Okay, Angel. So yeah.
All right, Angel.
I'll see you guys.
You want to give your grade real quick before we?
Yeah. I'm gonna be real with you. For me, it was easy. A+. Like, I don't care what anyone says. This is like a Mortal Kombat type thing. It's just every time I see it, I'm always in love with the movie. So
I feel you on that
A+.
one, man.
Yeah, A+ for me. Not saying now. I'm not gonna say there aren't things that couldn't have been improved on, or everything was perfect, but it's still an A+ for me. It's just an overall good movie.
All right, I feel you.
But
all right, take it easy,
you guys.
bro.
I'll see y'all.
Hey, Angel. Shit, he's gone. Oh well.
When he's got to go, man, he's got stuff to do.
I'll text him what I wanted to know.
Yeah, for sure. So they, like I said, they take him captive, and we're not really quite sure why, but we're gonna find out in a little bit. So he looks over, and I did fail to mention a former colleague, and I believe like his right hand man was the leader of this army before Nathan Aldrin came in, or Alderman.
And he was a colonel.
Okay, and Nathan looks over and sees Katsumura killing him. Now, because you and I have already watched samurai movies, this was a ritual killing. He stabbed himself, and then Katsumura cut off his head. This is an honorable death for them if they feel that they've dishonored themselves. So he feels like he betrayed his friend, he betrayed the samurai, and now he asked to be killed this way. So he stabs himself. That's his way of saying, I'm controlling my own life. And then I know this fool.
Go ahead, man.
I just saw it come through. This is their way of dying with honor.
Yeah.
And so Nathan thinks that he just killed him, but he learns later how this whole situation works out with the samurai. So they go back, and we find out the samurai, this samurai revolution, it's at Katsumura, like I said, the main guy. They're living at his son's village. And so he explains that at the beginning, this is my son, this is his village. And they take him, and he's put into a house with a woman, and she's tending to his wounds. She's feeding him. She's taking care of him.
That was messed up.
Now, that's the part I was going to say, because we do find out that two things. A, this woman is his sister. But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is she's also the wife of the man he killed.
Yeah, that samurai. The one that he stuck the spear in his neck?
Yes.
Yeah.
His brother-in-law. Katsumura's brother-in-law. Now, Katsumura is going through Nathan's things at this time, and he finds one of his journals. So he takes the journal, and he's going to go through it later. Now, again, you're living in a house of a man you killed with his wife, that's messed up enough. But
Mhm.
also his 2 children.
Mhm.
Now, I'm sorry, but this just me. If I found out you killed my dad, like,
Exactly.
you're dying in your sleep, bro.
And the wife, like, you're gonna eat her food. Like, I wouldn't have touched that food. You know.
Yeah, right. Well, and she does kind of give her disdain for this whole
Oh yeah,
situation
yeah.
to
She went to her brother and said
to
something.
her brother, and she wants him gone or dead. She literally
Mhm.
has like expresses that,
Mhm.
and he says to her, and this was a little bit crazy to me, but also I get it. He says to her, he attacked him in battle and died. It was an honorable death, and it was karma. He called it karma.
Mhm.
You attacked him, he killed you. And she looked at him and said, I know, I'm being weak, but I can't help myself.
Mhm.
Now you're being weak because you're having trouble with the man who killed your husband in your house. That blows my mind. When she said
Yeah.
that, I'm like, I, I guess that's a way you can look at it, but being weak, like that's you being weak.
Hey, she even went to him and asked if she can kill herself.
Yeah, that was crazy too.
Yeah.
Are you
Like,
gonna
and
leave
this
these
was a
kids with
little
no
later.
parents?
Yeah, this was a little later. She just couldn't deal with it.
It was crazy. So his son is staying at the house, and they're all having dinner together, and like I said, Nathan is a drunk,
Mhm.
and
Mm.
he's now been without a drink for a while, and he's starts screaming for sake.
Yeah.
But if you notice, the only time he says that is when he starts having memories
Mhm.
of what happened
Mhm.
in the Native American village.
Mhm.
So, and he's taking the sake and just downs it. He's trying to forget everything.
Mhm.
And so he's healing, and like I said, the family's taking care of him, and he's having nightmares. I mean, he's not being a good house guest at all.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. And she even said that he needs to take a bath because he smells
Yeah.
like a pig.
Well, he finally gets up and kind of walks around, and this is where we meet another character where he calls him Bob because Bob follows him
Yeah,
around
yeah.
to make sure he ain't messing up with nobody. And I
And
don't
so
think they ever give
this
us
can
the actual name of Bob.
they didn't. So this is what confused me. I was like, so is he captive? Did they capture him? Like, what's going on? Like, he's not in chains. They don't keep him in a cell. So, like, why I didn't get it. Like, if this was war, like, why
So,
you killed all these other guys, but you're keeping him alive and letting him live
well,
with you guys?
like I said, so I think he's trying to figure that out right now. I mean, so he's walking around, he's watching training, and Bob kind of tells him, "Go this way," and takes him to Katsumura. And this is the first time they interact together. And
Hmm.
he asks Katsumura straight up. He's like, "What am I doing here?" He goes, "Well, for now, I want to work on my English with you."
Hmm.
And he says, "But what am I doing here?" And he introduces himself and then tells him that our customs are foreign to you, just like your customs are foreign to us.
Hmm.
And he explains. This kind of cracks me up because I'm like, out of all the dumb things that have been going on so far, like you're worried about. He says, "I've introduced myself, and it's rude for you not to introduce yourself."
Right.
Like, and even as my enemy, supposedly. So he says, "What am I doing here? What's going on?" He says, "For now, we're just having a conversation."
Right.
And they
That's it.
have this short conversation. And at the end of the conversation, he says, "You know what? It's been a good conversation. Let's leave it at that." And he just walks away. He's
Yep.
very stoic, very, just kind of like matter of fact.
Hmm.
And it's really kind of messing Nathan up. So, and then this is where he does find out he's living with the wife of the person he killed. And
Hmm.
that messed him up. That
Yeah.
messed him up a little bit.
Yeah. I think that would mess anybody up because now you probably feel like you got to watch your back now.
I think it messed him up to the point where he's more feeling guilty. I don't think he's worried about his. If
I
they
would
wanted
have.
to kill him, they would have. I agree, but I think that I mean, the son comes over, And he has them sit down at the son's like super excited to have him, just like the dad.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is.
The whole thing's odd to me. But I guess the only thing I can come up with is, if they don't understand you and you don't understand them, they're going to try and show you and see, they want to learn from you just like you're thinking about learning from them.
Yeah.
At least I think that's their hope. And I mean, it does eventually work, which is crazy. The one kid's making faces at him. I mean, everything's crazy. The whole thing's crazy.
Yeah,
because
it's weird. I wonder, do you think did the kids know that he killed their dad?
The older one did.
I mean, I think eventually he does, but did he know at this point when they first meet?
No, I don't think he did quite yet.
Okay.
So he goes outside and he sees some kids messing with a sword. He picks up the sword and gives it to the guy he was fighting, and the kid says, "No, I'm out." He says, "You can take it." So he messes with the kid a little bit with the sword, and he kind of gets the better of him. And then Katsumura's right-hand man comes in. He does not like Nathan.
No.
He wants Nathan dead, but Katsumura won't let him kill him. So he beats the crap out of him, and he keeps standing up. And
I think his name is Yu-Gi-Oh. I think his name is Yu-Gi-Oh.
Okay. And like these two just do not get along, and he beats the crap out of him in the rain. And I mean, everyone's kind of watching him keep standing up. He's like a glutton for punishment. But at this point, we've kind of seen where he doesn't fear death.
I think that's why Katsumura respected him in the first place when he first saw him in the battle, because he kept getting up, and when he was surrounded and he was fighting all of those different samurai. Yeah,
but Katsumura does realize that like he doesn't fear death, but he also kind of wants it sometimes. So that's a little dangerous.
Yeah.
To say it's brave is kind of naive, because it's like it's not necessarily as brave as just wanting death. Which is understandable. I mean, it's pretty crazy. So again, he talks to Katsumura and they have a conversation, and he basically tells them, "Listen, this is how it's going to be. We're going to spend the winter here. In the spring, you can go back." Not a bad deal. I mean, they're going to take care of you. They're going to feed you. I mean, you can walk around the village. You're getting treated better than most captors. So honestly, I mean, it's a pretty good deal.
It was weird when they took him back, because it seemed like he was just right around the corner. Nobody knew where he was at. He's literally right down the street.
They thought he was dead.
Yeah, they did.
So skipping ahead a little bit, he is walking around, and he kind of he's watching the training, and he is interested in the training. And like I said, other than what'd you say his name was? His right-hand guy?
Ujima?
He's the only one that does, like I said, wants nothing to do with him. So, if he sees him, when he sees him training, like he's not having it. But everybody else is interested in it. They're like, yeah, train him. Let's see what he's got. They're totally fine with it. And there's even a point at right now where, like you said, Yu-Gi-Oh, he is going to go kind of like kick him out of training. And Katsumura walks by and kind of gives him the nod like, no, train him. So he's training in the way of samurai. And slowly but surely, he's getting better.
But that's not what you do when you capture somebody. That's what was throwing me off. Like, I've never seen that. Somebody becomes a prisoner of war, and the people who caught you, are training you. That's weird.
I don't think they're thinking of it as, hey, we're training our enemy. I think they're thinking of it more as, we're showing you our way. We're showing you a different way. And Katsumura understands this is a broken man. Maybe we can give him some kind of peace. And I mean, slowly but surely, he's getting involved with the family. He's getting close to everybody in this family, the wife, the kids. He's starting to care for them. They're starting to care for him. He's getting better with his training. He's wearing, their clothing. I mean, he really is kind of finding a new within himself, and he's finding peace. which I don't think he expected. And he starts journaling again. He's journaling about his whole experience, and he's kind of getting better with the sword, and he's taking on some of the lower ranked gentlemen. And of course, Big Man has to come in, and they have, kind of like a point match. And there's two guys betting on how many moves it'll take and everything. Yeah. And they, the first one he gets whooped, the second one he gets whooped, the third one's a draw. And I gotta say, for being an amateur against the pro, take a draw. Then they are having a celebration, and Katsumura's kind of out in the open, and a group of assassins show up. And Nathan does save Katsumura during this, and so they're battling all these assassins.
Yeah, and why would ninjas want to attack samurai? That was crazy.
Well, they were sent by.
I know who that was. Yeah. Omura. Yeah.
Yeah, they were sent by, for sure. And so now that he's realizing like things are really getting amped up in all this, I guess he reaches out to the Emperor and is granted safe passage to talk and try to negotiate some peace. And also, he's going to bring Nathan back. So Nathan says goodbye to everyone, and his sister and her family are a little pissed. They're kind of upset because now they've kind of gotten to know him, and I guess he's kind of become part of the family, which again is insane.
I would have thought they were setting me up though.
Now I don't know how much. I know, right? I don't know how much time has passed. Do you?
No,
it's only been months. It hasn't been like years.
No. Because I think they even said you spent the winter with them.
So, like you said earlier, he comes back from the winter, and now they got a whole new regiment. They're shooting better. They got new Gatling guns and cannons. Like it's crazy. And then the samurai, everyone in the town's kind of fearing the samurai. And the new guards are actually kind of treating them poorly. And Katsumura talks to the Emperor, and the Emperor is asking for his counsel. And the thing is, Katsumura, he basically tells the Emperor, like, I cannot give you the answers. You are in charge. I am your servant. Right. Like, you got to figure this out on your own. And so this is the problem. Like I said, this Emperor is so young, and he's afraid to make a decision, so he just listens to everybody else. And Katsumura, he has too much respect for him to, treat him the way the rest of them are treating him, which basically they're using him as a shield to line their pockets and to get what they want. And so right away, Nathan goes and he talks to his old war buddy, and they want to give him his buddy's job. His buddy's been doing this in his absence. And right away they want to give him the job right back.
Right.
Because he's been living there. They think he's been, living there. He can give them, they want to know how many people are there. They want to know who's in the army. They want to know everything. And what they don't know, but they kind of start to figure out very soon, is like he's kind of switched sides. So he's not giving them anything, and he don't want to take the job. So,
how could you want to take that job after staying with people for months and then being part of their celebrations and everything? Of course he doesn't.
Yeah. So the Emperor asked Katsumura to sit on the council, and he agrees. But when he shows up, it's very obvious that nobody else wants him there, because right away they want to take away his swords, and he says straight up, like, these swords have been protected the royal family for 900 years. Like, why do I need to give up my swords now?
Right.
And the emperor again won't say nothing.
Right.
And then we go to another scene where
Did you think they were gonna try and attack him once he gave up those swords?
100%, they were looking to provoke him and then attack him. So we see Nathan is watching the sun, and he's surrounded by some of these newer soldiers, and they want to cut off his hair, which is something that the samurai grow, and it's a great dishonor to cut it. So, and that's why they know this, and that's why they do that. And he was ready to fight, but Nathan stopped him because he would have lost his life.
Yeah, because
So
he was young. Also, he wasn't like an older guy. He was pretty young.
He was a young kid. He could have been 17, 16, 18, something like that.
Yeah.
So they're talking, and we go back to the other room. And like I said, Katsumura won't give up his sword, so they arrest him. And the idea here is to kind of make a fool of him. And I keep forgetting his name. Amora?
Yeah, Amora.
He basically tells his two henchmen, if Alderman gets close to Katsumura, kill him.
Right.
So he knows what's up. He knows, like, he's going to tell him all this stuff. So like I said, the Emperor's not making his own decisions. They have a treaty with the Americans they want him to sign. And this is exactly what Katsumura is trying to fight against, because he doesn't want to adapt the Western ways yet. He wants to stay things in the way of his own people with the samurai and the Emperor. So he offers his sword that's been in his family for generations, to the Emperor as kind of like a sign of peace. Let's work this out. Please take my sword. It's always been yours. It is yours. It's been in your service for many years. And like I said, but they've already arrested him. And so now we're sitting where they're kind of talking to Nathan and seeing where his allegiance are. And he kind of basically says, you know what? I'm tired. I want to go home. And of course, that's a lie. And right away, he starts.
He got a lot of money.
Yes. Well, they gave him all the money he was owed, plus back pay for being captured.
Yeah, I mean, that is a lot of money. Like, think about, like, this is 18 what?
Oh, yeah. It was like $7,000.
Yeah, I think it was more than that.
I mean, it might have been
1877. So what was he was supposed to get? Was it $500 a week or $500 a month?
$500 a week.
Yeah, that's $2,000 a month.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and if he was
3-4 months.
So now on top of that, what did you say? Back pay. Also, like, man, he got a lot of money. He got a lot of, for 1877. Like that's like becoming a millionaire now,
But that just shows you how rich these diplomats are, and how much they're, how corrupt they really are, that they can give away that money. It's like nothing, because they're making probably 10 times that much. So basically, the group that showed up with Katsumura, they're going to break him out of jail, and they're going to go back to the village, and
Algren goes with them
and kind of figure out what their next move is. Now, during the prison break, the photographer goes, he helps them with the prison break, and then goes with them because he's really interested in the samurai and their village. And during this time, Katsumura's son dies. He's shooting a bow and arrow trying to save his dad, and upon trying to get away, he gets shot. And his dad tries to take him. He's like, you're okay, you can come with me, but he's dying. So he says, leave me here. I'm going to fight till my death, and it's going to be an honorable death. And so he stands him up, looks at him one last time, kind of embraces him, and then just walks away.
Yeah, that would have been something. That would have been hard to do, man.
I can only imagine. And so they escape to the village, and he goes out like a warrior. I mean, he shoots that bow one last time. He grabs both swords out, and he just runs right at them and gets shot while they're running back to the village. So Katsumura and Aldrin are talking, and he's basically telling them exactly what's going to happen. He says they're going to come with this amount of people. They got this amount of weapons. Like, basically, we're screwed.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Now, earlier in the movie, Katsumura wanted to know about a general, and he couldn't think of the name, but he was telling a story, and Nathan, of course, knew the story, and it was the story about Colonel Custard, about how he took 500 men into battle, and basically against 10,000 and tried to win.
Mm-hmm.
Still ended up dying, but Katsumura liked that story. He said that was a good death.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's kind of bringing that up again, like maybe we can go and be like Colonel Custer. And he reminds them they all died.
Right.
So, but he does come up with a plan. He does come up with an idea of figuring out how to bring them in close combat to kind of neutralize their guns so they can get within a range of a sword.
Yeah, and we're getting up against it, so we're not going to be able to talk about everything that happens at the battle. But I did like the game plan that they had, because they had different plans for. Okay, when they come here, we're going to do this. When they go this far, then we're going to do this. That was pretty smart.
I've seen many movies and many ideas of this, and basically what you do is you draw these people with a gun, you fake a retreat. In this case, they used a smoke screen, retreated, and then they had a trench that once these people got close into the trench, they lit it on fire and then used that smoke screen to attack them with bow and arrows. And then once they attacked them with bows and arrows and they were kind of distracted, they go and attack them with swords. The problem is they got through that first regiment, but they still had two more. And they kind of knew, like, they can't do that again. They're not going to fall for that twice unless they're stupid.
Right.
Plus, they still had the Gatling guns and the cannonballs. So basically, their plan is go out like a blaze of glory. Let's go in. Let's take as many out as we can. And then Katsumura hit the other general that was running. He stops the attack because everyone's pretty much dead. It's just Katsumura and Nathan. And Katsumura has Nathan help him die an honorable death, stabs him, and he dies on his own terms. And then they surround Nathan and let Nathan survive, which I really don't get that.
I didn't either, man. Like he had to have been a cat or something. Like how many times should Tom Cruise have died in this movie? He should have died he should have died so many times.
A lot.
I'm even counting the wife poisoning him or doing something to him in his sleep, you know. Like he should have been out of here. So that was pretty silly though that he survived. Now everybody else, it was 500 samurai. They all die. And Algren lives. Okay.
So the very end of the movie shows Aldrin shows up at the last minute before the Emperor is about to sign this treaty with America. And he shows up again with Katsumura's sword. And he basically tells the Emperor he would have wanted you to have this sword. And the Emperor finally grows a pair, stands up to Oramaya, and tells him basically, you know what? I don't think this treaty is in the best interest. Sorry if that pisses you off. He tries to tell him, he tries to get back in his face. And that's where he basically tells him, you know what? If you know what's good for you, step back or I'll give your whole fortune away.
Right.
And so, and then the photographer is kind of telling the rest of the story. He says nobody knows what happened to Aldrin. He'd like to think that, you know, he went back, found peace in the village and died, you know, a happy man, which they do show him going back, you know, seeing the wife and the kids again. And, you know, we just can only imagine, you know, what happened from there. And I mean, that's pretty much the movie. I did enjoy this movie when I first saw it. I still enjoy it. Like Angel said, you can always pick apart some stuff, but for the most part, I just give this movie an A. I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorites. Tom Cruise gives a great performance. I like the sword fighting. I like the characters. I do think there were some. It was nominated. I'm not sure if it did win any awards, but I know it had a lot of nominations for sure.
Okay. I give it a B plus. Like I said, at first I was kind of lost. It was kind of all over the place at first. And then I watched it again and had the subtitles on and it made a lot more sense. So, and then I got into it a little bit more the second time I saw it. So yeah, I'll give it a B plus. I don't really have much complaints about it. It's just the fact that he didn't die when he should have died so many times. That was getting a little. That was.
And then the fact of the matter is, like, okay, where does the title come from? Is he the last samurai?
Well, yeah, because all of the other samurai were dead. They all died in battle.
I mean, we can argue the last samurai is Katsumura, even though he's dead, or we can argue, is he really a samurai? Because I mean,
I got you. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many ideas. I've always said that about this movie, but I think something like that.
I never thought about it. I just assumed they looked at him as being a samurai also.
That's what I think too, but I'm just saying I like to pick apart sometimes.
Okay.
Do you have anything?
Yeah, for next week, we might as well go ahead and rewatch the stuff that me and Mike did before. So if you guys want to start with Bloodsport, because you guys mentioned Bloodsport before, you want to start with Bloodsport, we'll go ahead and do that.
Oh heck yeah!
All right, so I'll let Angel know.
Out of every karate movie, I think I've seen that one over 200 times.
Oh man, you're sick.
I am. It's one of those movies that if it's just on TV, I'll watch it, and I own it.
Wow. So. Well, I've seen it maybe 3 times, I guess 3 or 4.
And I know, and I get what you're saying. I really do get what you're saying. So maybe I'm a little more partial because it's so nostalgic. I think it was one of the first like real karate movies, and this is funny because maybe you remember, maybe you don't. Do you remember Joe Labadie?
Yeah.
So he used to come over to my house a lot, and he picked this movie out because he liked it. Okay. And we watched it with my parents. And when they break that dude's leg, my mom was like, "Oh, I'm done." But I mean, I was like 14, 15, something like that. Mm-hmm. So to me, I was like, "Yeah, go, let's get it." So, it's a little nostalgic for me.
Okay, so we'll do Bloodsport next week. You got any closing remarks? Good. Anything?
Oh man, just getting ready for Christmas, and hopefully work will calm down a little bit here soon.
Okay. Well, everybody, you guys stay safe, stay strong. We will holler at you next week. My cousin, the producer, play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.